Up next is a return to form for a beloved series. I was looking forward to it. It's for the Nintendo DS, and that is Contra 4. Contra 4, unlike a lot of the other Contra games that have come out over the last, 20 years, feels like a real sequel to the NES games. It's really almost like a remake of the first one. A lot of the bosses are similar, and the layouts of the stages and just the concepts they go through are taken from the first game. And this one was developed by Way Forward, which kind of surprising. I guess they're sort of like the go-to side-scrolling masters these days. But I associate them more with like the Shantae series, and I think it's funny for them to do like a Rambo action kind of game, but I'm sure the people there were just as big fans as we all are. Anyway, this game's great. Its gimmick is that it uses both of the screens on the DS. You can see me playing it on my 3DS here. Sorry about the lighting. I should have turned the lights off. I didn't know any better, so you can see the screen better, but you can get the idea, which is cool, but you have to keep your eyes on both of the screens at once. Maybe I would have benefited from actually playing it on an original DS that had smaller screens, because keeping everything in your field of vision is kind of hard. And with that, the hinge of the DS or the 3DS in the middle, it like leaves a blind spot in the center. And there were tons of times I would like jump into that area, and there'd be a bullet hidden there that would kill me, or an enemy or something. So I don't know. I think it's cool. That's a cool idea, but I think it actually takes away from the gameplay more than it adds to it. And man, even little things like that can be a lot in this, because this game is difficult. I mean, it is super hard. It has different difficulty levels. There's easy, which is doable. You should be able to finish that if you put in a little bit of time. But it doesn't let you play the last few stages or the last couple of stages. They want you to play on normal. So after you do that, you crank it up to normal, and it's tough. It's harder than the original Contra. I'd say it's harder than Super C. I don't know if it's as hard as Contra Hardcore, but it's pretty ruthless, and I struggled with it. It took me a good amount of time playing through this to be able to beat it. And I think that the game kind of faltered a little bit. It being sort of a modern game, or relatively modern, it could have used unlimited continues. The levels are hard enough to get through even at all, even with like doing the infinite lives, or not infinite, but like the 36 live cheat, which you can do in this, at least on your first continue at the beginning of the game. But it's good to be able in a game like this, with this sort of fast-paced arcade action, to be able to start at the beginning of a level you need to practice, and the game just limiting your continues to only 3 on normal, and I think 1 on hard, just is draconian and like unnecessarily hard, because you have to play through the entire game to get back up to that point to practice, and by that point you may only have 1 continue left, and you don't get enough time. So I think it would have been better for the game to have unlimited continues, or some way to unlock more continues through time spent in the game. Maybe for like every hour you play, or 2 hours, you get an extra continue or something like that. But it does look great, and it has some cool unlockables. You can unlock the original Contra and the original Super C by completing some of the challenges in the game, which is a nice touch. I don't know that I would want to play them here. I'd prefer to play them on a bigger screen on a CRT, but it's still a nice inclusion, and I think it's a great addition really to anyone's DS collection. It's kind of hard to find these days, but that's understandable considering how good it is. So is Contra 4 something you want to pick up? Absolutely. It's a great game. It's like a 8 out of 10. I would recommend it to anyone that likes action games, and if you're a Contra fan, it's an essential purchase, and really something that you want to spend some time with. It might take you months to really learn to master the game. It's not something I have time for these days, but I was able to master it enough to beat it on normal, which I'm proud of these days. If I'd had like as much time as I did as a kid, I probably could have gotten to the point where I could, no miss the game and play through it without ever getting hit. So